Okay, welcome back. We just left off on the first item on the chapter 14, the one on requirements analysis. The next one's going to talk about the logical design. Remember the difference between a logical design and a physical design? You know, one is sort of like a UML diagram of the pictures of all the parts and that kind of stuff. So what is the difference between a logical and physical design? What am I expected to find? The layered concept. If you recall, when you're like building a network from scratch and you're at the enterprise mode, not mom and pop, but you're on big business guys, they typically try to break things up into layers. And if you remember what those layers are and why you know what layer does what, you're in good shape. Well, the next one talks about the maintenance piece. So do these things just all run by themselves, or do we have to actually do something about these? You know, if I build a system that has, you know, a gazillion routers and firewalls and switches, I mean, I just plug them in and walk off, or what is it I have to do on a periodic basis to maintain these things? The next one talks about software scans. I did a demo of a piece of software that did this for a living, and I'm going to ask you some questions about, you know, what is it all about? Maybe even some examples of what it can do. So what are these software scans of these hosts designed to do? Okay, based all on that example that we did. The next one talks about early internet history, like talking about like the funding of it, because you know a lot of this stuff was funded through taxpayer, and therefore you know they really weren't in a position to keep it from us because you know we the taxpayers paid for it. So a lot of information about that. Okay, the two extra credit questions. The one is on the email and PKI, and this is going to be hopefully a review. It's going to be one of those things where it's a scenario, or you know, Bob and Alice want to transmit a message, and so I have you know private and public keys on one side and private and public keys on the other, and somebody you know has to figure out which key do I use to encrypt or decrypt and that kind of stuff. So again, hopefully this is a review. And then the next one talks about a topic, again, back on the business continuity and disaster recovery topic. Talks about backup and restore times. And so one of the things I made tremendous amount of impression, I hope, was, you know, when you're trying to sell the idea of doing backup and restores, you know, what's the difference between the amount of time it takes to do a backup versus the amount of time it takes to do a restore? That's a very powerful piece of information that you could probably use. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Those are the 40 questions, and I hope you guys do well. And since this is the last video of the season, maybe I'll see you guys in some future class.